World Bank executive says extraterrestrial aliens control money and religion. It seems baffling that such a high-level former executive of World Bank would make such outlandish statements, but Karen Hood's testimony should at least be considered when attempting to put the entire ET puzzle together. Now, how did she come to this knowledge to make such claims? One of the longest-running and most popular conspiracy theories of all speaks of a possible organization that pulls the strings of our entire society. This elite would be found within the economy, religion, industries, entertainment, occupying quite important positions. Despite the fact that many people discredit it, this theory gains much more strength when a former World Bank executive is the one who decides to break the silence and publicly reveal that not only does the elite exist, but that they do not belong to this world. This is so nuts, it's hard to believe, but it's true. Karen Hoods was being interviewed by Future Money Trends when midway through the interview about conspiracies concerning global economy, she reveals that the aliens that have been hiding in the Vatican, what? That's what she claims. When executive professionals such as Karen begin speaking out about these coming events, we need to start paying closer attention. She said, well, there is something called the Black Pope, but that's not the ultimate reason why we have been in the fix that we're in. What we have found out, and this sounds implausible, but it's absolutely correct. The fact that it's been held in secret does not mean that it's not true. It is true, she says. There is a second species on this planet, she says. And she says they are not extraterrestrial. They're very much with us. They made maps in the previous ice age. The remnants of their civilization are all over the place. A lot of times along the coast, it's submerged because the sea level has gone up by 400 meters. But this group has large brains. They are very distinct from Homo sapiens. And she says their DNA is so different that if the two species mated, their offspring would be infertile, and we know that because their DNA was just tested. They have skulls all over the place because they have been on Earth with us, but after the Ice Age, there were not that many of them. And so they have been hiding, and one of the places that they've been hiding is in the Vatican, she says. That's why the Vatican are wearing those mitres, those tall hats. It turns out that's also what the high priest wore in the early beginning of Judaism. She says the people that were doing archaeology in Israel know this, and the reason is that not only are Homo carpensis trying to keep human beings under control by divide and conquer using our money system, they have also been doing this with our religion. She goes on to say, organized religion, trying to get human beings to hate people of different faiths so that they would do each other off, so that people in the back manipulating human beings could use us like cattle. That's what's been going on through our history, she claims. And the reporter says, okay, Karen, you're an attorney. You worked for the World Bank for 20 years. What you're saying is on the fringe of conspiracy. It sounds so crazy. So, obviously you have had to come to terms with this. What have you seen that has made you so confident to actually say this stuff publicly? And Karen says, because they have been going to meetings. I sent an email to a fellow in Portugal, and the next day he went to a meeting of bankers, and he sent me back an email saying that meeting there had been a big skulled individual with bright blue eyes. Another person in touch with Dr. Edward Spencer, who is a retired neurologist. He's the one who started telling me about this. A friend of his was in Egypt and saw these Homo caprenensis running around. They're huge. Their skulls are all over the planet. It's not a conspiracy theory. Just because this group likes to hide and likes to accuse people of having conspiracy theories does not make these facts raw. They are facts. Karen Hoods was a fairly senior executive of the Treasury Department of the World Bank until 2007. In her resume, she holds degrees of law from the Yale University and economics from the University of Amsterdam. In addition to the work at World Bank, she also worked for the Export-Import Bank of the United States, including working in the World Bank's legal department. Hood's career was impeccable. and she was held in very high esteem during the 20 years she worked at the World Bank until she was fired in 2007 as legal counsel. The reason? Denounce the corruption of the elite that is dominating the world and its possible non-human origins. Non-human creatures with elongated heads and an IQ over 150 control the Vatican and World Bank, she says. So with these words, Hoods began her public denunciation of what she personally saw when she held the position of legal advisor at the World Bank. The lawyers and economists declared that extraterrestrial beings have been infiltrated for years in quite important positions of power, and she assured that they do not belong to the human race, and they are addressed as Homo carpensis. These beings have coexisted with humanity for many years prior to the Ice Age, according to her. In an interview with the news portal News Network, Karen stated that despite the fact that in the past she did not believe in any of that, she began to investigate to realize that there was historical evidence of creatures like the ones that would live today with strangers, elongated skulls, or as we could see in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Despite the fact that Karen's words have aroused great interest worldwide, to the point that television networks have wanted to interview her, she's not the first to denounce this. The former Minister of Canada, Paul Hellyer, gave many statements in 2014 and before and after, in which he assured that there are extraterrestrial beings working directly with the United States government. In fact, Paul Hellyer said, if you were to pass them on the sidewalk, you'd think they were Homo sapiens, just like us. So he said we could be in control of a fairly important core of world institutions, including financial, corporate, and religious, to get dominance on the planet. That is what these aliens would say. According to the theory, the goal of dominating these institutions is the enslavement of humanity through debt. They want to enslave all governments and politicians to give up huge financial contributions to use for their political campaigns. Because this elite also manages the entertainment and media industry, the truth is that it's extremely difficult to find out about this. It's obvious that our most important institutions work based on the interests of those who manage them, and Karen's statements are just one more grain in that great hourglass that will announce a time for our society to wake up. And this is on Collective Spark. It's by Myth and Mystery. Guest post, please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box